Welcome. How are you doing? Okay, let's continue our today's lecture. It's our fifth lecture for system analysis and design. If you have any question regarding the previous lectures, you can ask me. Otherwise, we are going to continue with our today's lecture. Today, we will start our second learning outcome, which is to you will be able to use system analysis and design techniques to recommend improvements to an existing system. After completion of this learning outcome, we will be able to make some recommendations as per the analysis that we will do on the existing system. We will recommend some improvements to the existing systems that are already working, and after the analysis, we can improve the system by giving some recommendations. So we will see the methodology to analyze an existing system, justifying the choice. So let's continue by how we can analyze a system. Conducting research is often the stepping stone when you are analyzing any system. Whenever you are going to analyze a system, the main component of that analysis is the research that you will perform on that system. Ultimately, you will get to know about the weaknesses of the systems, the issues of the system with the help of the analysis that you will perform on the basis of the research. So the choosing the correct research methodology can determine the success and overall quality of your system. It is essential to get the initial stage of your research right. So in order to proceed with your research, what you need to do is you need to follow a proper plan, a proper methodology that will help you to get the success in the overall activity that you are going to perform. Whenever we are analyzing a system, it's mandatory to use a methodology to perform that analysis so that you can achieve the better outcomes from your system analysis. A key part of system analysis of the existing system is here we are only talking about the existing systems. All the that will be performed in this activity or learning outcome will particularly be relevant to the details of the existing system. We are not talking about the new system that we are going to create from scratch. We are talking about a system that is basically working in environment, and what we want to do is we want to make improvements to the system. So in order to get the system improved, we will talk the talk to the team members and we will see the present system that is already working. The system analyst has to find out how the current system works. He must know what information to gather, where to find it, how to collect it, as so he has to spend a lot of time in talking with users and gathering the information. The previous tools can also be used for gathering the information. So here what we need to do is as a system analyst you need to see how the current system is working. You will first analyze, then you will gather the information will be related to the system, how it is working and how you can find the best things that you need for the analysis report. Then you will collect all the information, you will spend some time talking to the team members or the users of the system, and you will make a proper report. This thing is related to basically the feedback. And also you will gather the information, and the information gathering, for the sake of information gathering, there are multiple techniques that we will also cover all the techniques for gathering the information in the coming lectures. But today we will talk about the system analysis, how we will proceed with the analysis of the system. There are various tools that could be used for the gathering of information, just like you can talk about the questionnaires, the surveys, there are various other tools and technologies as well that could be used to gather the information from the users. So for those, you need to let me know which kind of system we are going to analyze in this learning outcome. It's a new system or an existing system that we are going to analyze in this activity. Yes, anyone else who would like to answer this question? It's an existing system that we are talking about. No, Abdullah, it's not a new system. We are talking about the learning outcome in which we are going to analyze an existing system and we will see how we can make improvements to an existing system in order to meet with the requirements of the system. Here in front of your screen, the slide is already mentioning the system analysis of existing system, and no one is able to answer it. I am extremely sorry. If you guys are not attending the class properly, then it's not beneficial for both of us. We are just wasting our time. You people should focus on the things that we are discussing. You should ask the questions so that you can better understand the activities and ultimately you can perform them well, rather than doing again and again work on the same activity, because you are not understanding the activities properly with the help of the course outline. Anyhow, let's continue. So first, a system to gather information, because we are going to analyze an existing system, so we need to gather the information of that system particularly. So we will be gathering the information in large and complex organization is a very crucial part. It's just that whenever you are going to gather the information from a smaller organization, it's kind of an easy task because you can ask the employees. There are limited number of employees in small organizations. But when you are talking about the large organization, what you can do is you need to use multiple ways that will help you to understand how you can proceed in the activity. Like if you want to gather the information about the accounts department, you generally need to get the details about the accounts department, but for the sake of further inquiry you need to go to the manager's level, then you need to get the assistance from some higher management too. But in small organizations this is not the case. There is only one accountant and probably the one manager, so you can easily do the interviews and conduct the surveys, and ultimately you can gather the information from them. It's a very crucial part and it's so time consuming, so all the relevant personnel should be consulted. A clear strategy should be evolved by the analyst. So what analyst can do here is he will come up with a strategy and information gathering strategy, and ultimately they will apply that strategy to gather the information from all the people at the same time. So what they need to focus on is what kind of information do we need. Like if they are asking for the accounts information, then definitely they need to understand what kind of accounts detail they need to understand before making some changes to it. Let's suppose they want to the organization for which we are doing the system analysis wants to move to the online transactions. So definitely their accounts details must be clear before proceeding to the final methodology. The system analyst will see the transactions, the limit of transactions, the frequency of transactions, how often they are making the transaction, and all the other details that are needed. And then they will see what kind of information do we need. This is the first question that will be answered. Then they will also gather the information sources, like what are the sources from where they can get the information about that particular account, how to collect the information. Then they will see what are the techniques they are going to use to gather the techniques from all the employees. So what kind of information we need for the sake of this analysis? Much of the information we need to analyze is related to the organization, the user staff, and the workflow. As shown in this picture, we can see what kind of information do we need. For the sake of this question, we need to see the information that we need, and there are multiple stakeholders or the people who are involved in this process. So we will see what are the people and from what kind of information do we need. We will see the first, we will see the organization level information. It includes the policies, the practices, the goals, objectives, and all the standards, organizational activities, and hierarchy and architecture. So all these things are related to the organization, and the system analysts need to understand these requirements too. Then for the user or the staff members who are the part of the organization, the information according to their those personas is related to their interpersonal relationship, like how the staff is behaving with each other. If we are going to talk about the accounts department, so there must not be the users who are against the other users, and ultimately they are not making a good relationship with the team members, and definitely they will not be able to produce the expected outcomes. Gathering authority relationship and job function information relationship, all these things are related to the users or the staff, and we will gather all these informations from the various components, and definitely we will use multiple techniques to gather this information. Then for the work itself, like if we are talking about the accounts department, we will see the workflow, the methods and tools, the procedures, the schedules, how we can proceed in the overall work. Then we will see how we can gather them. We will use different technologies to gather this information, and ultimately this will be the information that is required for the kind of information that we need. Then the second thing is we will see the sources of information that basically are the part of the organization. So we will see there are multiple users of the system who could be the part of the information that we need. We will focus on the user and user staff of the system, forms, document, manual reports used in the organization. We will see all these documentations from the organization in order to understand the components of the organization. We will see the financial reports. We will see the personal staff, like how the staff is working and what kind of staff members are the part of the organization. Then computer programs of existing system that they are already using. Then we will focus on the government documents, the vendor newspaper and journals. Then also we need to see the procedure manuals and the rule books, which specify how various tasks are carried out in the organization. This is basically something that is related to the organizational strategy, how the organization is dealing with its tasks and how they are managing it will be the part of this procedure manuals. Then professional staffs, like the if we are talking about the development staff, there will include the IT staffs or IT members, and all the other staff members of different departments will be included here. Information should be obtained from all the above mentioned sources. The consistency should be checked between them and summarized briefly. So system analyst, what he will do after gathering all this information, they will summarize it briefly so that they can make their own documentation, or you can say that a proper report which will let them understand what are the main personas or the stakeholders of the system to which they need to interview. Then we will move to the third point, in which we will collect the information. At this stage, the system analyst should decide which information method or tool should be used to collect the information and how it must be used. An important strategy to collect the information is that information and how it be acquired accurately, methodologically, under the right conditions, and with the minimum interruptions to the user. So this is something that you are going to do whenever you are going to collect the information. You need to make sure that the strategy is properly working and you are going to acquire the exact and the correct information from all the stakeholders. There are multiple times when we are going to do the survey or the interview of the clients. The some of the clients have grudges for the other clients, and ultimately they don't give the feedback for the team members in a right way, and this all becomes a very difficult thing for the system analyst to encounter the things that are the part of the system and what they need to do in order to maintain the system. The various tools or methods are formed, procedures, on-site observations, the interviews and questionnaires are the part of the tools that could be used so that we can gather the information from multiple people. The information gathering methods are shown in the picture. And here we have different information gathering tools. From these tools, we can gather the information from the people, from the clients, from the team members, from the staff members, and also we can get the reviews with the help of review forms and the procedures. We can do the on-site observation. It will be something that will be based on the analysis of the working of the on-site employees. What analyst will do, he will go to the site, he will see how they are working, what are the things that need to be improved in their working criteria. Also, they can do the interviews of the team members in order to gather their data and how they are proceeding in the system. Then they can also use the questionnaires that could be used in order to get their responses. And ultimately, all these things will be related to the data organization, in which we can link it with the organization, how these things are working. So the information gathering points that we have discussed are the review forms and procedures. In this, we can encounter the on-site observations, the interviews, the questionnaires. On-site observations are the major objective of this is to get as close as possible to the real system being studied. Basically, you go to the site, you see the processes, how they are working, how people are working, what are the activities that they are performing. That's the thing that will help you to understand how they are actually working or proceeding in their system, and ultimately you will obtain the information that you want to achieve from them. Then also you can do the interviews. Its main objective is to obtain the both quantitative and qualitative data, because interviews get let us get all kind of data. It depends upon the questions that you will ask the employees regarding the user requirements, the policies, the practices, and the standards. It depends upon you, your needs, your choices, whatever you want to gather from them. It could be a face-to-face interpersonal role situation in which a person called the interviewer asks a person being interviewed questions which are designed to gather information about a problem area. In this procedure, like in interviews procedure, the system analyst make a set of questions before calling the people for interview, and they ask the people the related questions that are basic need of the system, so that they can better understand or analyze the system. So they work on only those questions that they have prepared before the interview. Then the third one is the questionnaire. These are useful to collect quantitative information such as sales, statistics, etc. In contrast to the interview, in this tool, the questions are asked and individuals respond. When quantitative data is to be collected from a large number of persons and organizations, questionnaires are useful. Because when you want the number of people to respond on the same problem or the same question, then it's the best thing to ask them with the help of a questionnaire. It will help you to just distribute the questionnaires to the multiple people, and they will perform the actions on that questionnaire. They will fill it and ultimately they will send it back to you, and you will see them. Also you can make the online questionnaires as well. You can share them via emails, and you can ask them from personal calls, and you can easily ask the options to select, and they will simply select the options, and ultimately you will be able to gather the information that is related to your questions. The shorter is questionnaire, the higher is probability of getting it back soon, because as shorter the questionnaire is, you can easily get the responses from the people. If it will be time taken, most of the people will not be interested in proceeding with the system questionnaire, and ultimately they will not be sending it back to you as soon as possible. Anyone have any question till this slide?
Miss, can you re-explain on-site observation?
Okay, I will.
I came a little late.
Okay, whenever you are going to analyze a system that is already working, because we are talking about the existing system, right? So whenever you are going to analyze an existing system, there is some activities that are already being performed in this system. So what you will do is, if it's a IT based system, you will see you will see the activities on the system, what are the employees performing. And if it's something like manufacturing organization, because we are talking about general system analysis, we are not only talking about the IT based system. So if you are going to a manufacturing business and they hired you for as a system analyst, you are going to analyze their system. So what you can do is, you will go to their manufacturing site, you will sit there, and you will analyze how the employees are working and what are the maximum productivity they are making, and ultimately you can get up if the process will be improved. Let's suppose they are manufacturing the lead pencils and you want to make their system automated, and after making some of the recommendations in the recommendation area, when you will be asked to make, you will add some automation tools to their system. It will help them to elevate their business. Ultimately it will produce the higher revenue for them. So this is how you do the on-site observation. You will just go to the organization and you will analyze their system and the employees, how they are working, and what are the things that they can change in their system to make it work better. I hope it's understandable now. If it's not clear, you can again ask me.
No, miss, it's clear.
Okay. So let's continue to the next slide in which we will do the analysis of system components. Whenever we are analyzing the system components, most businesses and organizations use documents to record information or to communicate information, like forms to get filled in and passed to other offices. This is a common scenario through which information is shared across the organizations. The system analyst needs to collect examples of the documents used to get an understanding of the type and quantity of data that flows through the business and organization. So what they will see what kind of information and what type of and what quantity of data they can get from the system with the help of the system component. So in the analysis of system components, the first thing is that we do is we identify the problems. Just like if we are going to do the on-site observations analysis, we will see multiple kind of problems that are being the part of the system. Definitely. So we can easily identify the systems by analyzing the system properly. No system is perfect and it's the job of the system analyst to try and identify where the problem in a system are. If these problems can be fixed, the system will work more smoothly, be more efficient, and in the case of business, be more profitable. So when you want to achieve more in every case, you need to fix your problems as soon as possible. So if you can easily identify the problems as a system analyst, you can easily solve the problems, then definitely you can make the system work in a better way. So in the analysis of system components, first we will identify the problems that are being the part of the system. The system analyst will use this document to check the new system. Going through the requirements one by one, the analyst will check if they have been met. So first they will check the user's responses. It is essential to get feedback from the users of the system. Do they like it? Does it make their work easier? What if anything could be improved? So all these questions will be asked from the team members by the document that the system analyst will create, and ultimately they will see how the users are going to respond in specific situations. Next, now the problems will present system are understood, and the system analyst can begin to plan how the new system will fix those problems. Let's suppose we have talked about some manual activities, and the system analyst has recommended that if we make some automations to the system, it will fix these problems. The system analyst specifies a list of requirements for the new system. Definitely, if they want to introduce an automation system, they need to first develop that automation system. So they will encode the requirements of the new system, and this list is usually called the requirements specification. Analysis and specification, what it do basically, it gather, analyze, and validate the information. Then it define the requirements and prototypes of new system, evaluate the alternatives and prioritize the requirements, examine the information needs of end user and enhance the system goals. A software requirement specification document, SRS document, is the one that is basically used by the organization to document their specifications. Either it's all the specifications that are related to the system. It could be the software components, the hardware components, the functional, non-functional components of the system. The requirements of the system is prepared at the end of this phase. So what they do is they do collect all kind of requirements of the system. They define the types of system requirements so that we can better understand what kind of requirements are the part of the new system. We evaluate the alternatives if one component of the new system that we are going to create is not working, what will be that alternative source for that? There shouldn't be like if we are going to the automated system and if the automated system is not working, then the overall activities of the organization will be stopped. This is not the best solution. So if we want to achieve the maximum outcome, there must be some alternatives, and we need to prioritize the requirements, which is the most important component of our system. How often we need to maintain that requirement so that we cannot be suffering on that requirement particularly. Examine the information needs of end user and enhance the system goal. This is related to the needs of the end user. End users are the one who are going to use the system. It's basically related to the system employees who are using the system to make their activities done. So if they are using the system, we need to analyze their needs as well. We need to see how we can enhance the system goal by letting them use the automated system, how they will be producing more out of the less requirements. So all these things will be documented into the SRS document, and it will let the organization understand how and when they are going to work in this system. So this is something that is related to the specifications and the system specifications, you can say. Another thing is the client brief. When you have done the analysis of the existing system, now you definitely need to create some new features to the system, or you need to create a new system. So the client brief is essentially a recorded document that helps in guiding and animating any project. This will basically help you to understand once you have, definitely this is something that is to make the system, like what are the expectations of the system, what are the ins and out of the project that you're going to create, and what will be the demo, or you can say that the blueprint of the system. All these components are the part of the client brief, and this is something that is made after the analysis of the existing system. You create a client brief on the basis of the requirements that you gather from the organization and all the stakeholders of the organization. Basically, stakeholders are the one who are by any means who are related to the system. You examine their needs and ultimately you make a SRS document. And after that, you need to get a client brief, which will help you to understand what are the things that exactly needed into the system that you are going to create. The aim of the client brief is to convey what business problem they need help with, describe their overall brand persona, and define the end results they expect. So all these things that they are expecting their system to have in the coming future will be the part of this client brief. This document aligns all contributors. All contributors are the stakeholders basically who are related to the system by any means, with the project requirements, expectations, and overall strategy that they need to follow in order to meet with the requirements of the system. The third component here is the feasibility report. After the client's brief, once you have analyzed all the requirements, you have gathered the client's brief, now you need to see the feasibility report. Feasibility report is prepared after the detailed study of the system that is going to be developed. You have analyzed the existing system, you have gathered the requirements. Now, what you need to do is you need to do the feasibility analysis, which will help you to understand what will be the part of the system that you are going to develop. It will let you know the all the main issues, the requirements, the details. Either it will be beneficial for your for the organization to develop such system or not. Can the company afford financially to get the system developed? Basically, after the client brief, you will give them a cost analysis that will help them understand what will be the overall needed cost to achieve the outcomes of the system. So if they can financially afford that system development or not, does the company have the manpower to do all this? Let's suppose you have, as a system analyst, you will only recommend them the improvements. If they are not having enough skills or the competitors who are going to perform, then definitely they need to see what will be the overall results of the system. And if it's something that is related to the organizational activities, but it will help us to understand the main issues of the system. We will be able to understand how the system can proceed and what will be the things that needs to be checked. So the first thing we will check is the company able to financially afford this new system development? Does the company have the manpower to do all this? Like they have the enough skilled employees who will be able to make the system improvements that we have recommended them? Is the building environment right for the system to take place? Let's suppose you are going to enhance the machinery or something that is related to the organizational land, so you need to see the organization have enough space to adjust that technology that you are going to enhance. And same as if you are going to add some technology to your system, so you need to see they have enough space or enough employees who can easily deal with it, or who can easily maintain it. So everything needs to be checked before the system analysis is performed. For the feasibility analysis, you need to follow some steps, and the steps that you need to follow are: form a project team and appoint a project leader. You will first make a team who will work on it, and you will assign a person the leadership rights. Then you will develop system flow charts that will help them, the team members, to understand how they need to work in the overall system. Then identify the deficiencies of the current system and set the goals. You will see what are the requirements that needs to be changed and what are the goals of the new system that you need to achieve. Enumerate the alternative solutions or potential candidate system to meet goals. Here you will add the alternatives that will be helpful whenever the system will not be working as the expectations. And definitely you need to focus on the system to meet its goals. Determine the feasibility of each alternative, such as technical feasibility, the technical components that we are going to incorporate into the system. You need to see either they are feasible with your system or not. If there are some operational activities that are going to do some operations on your system, then you need to see their operational feasibility is how their feasibility, operational feasibility is going to deal with the system, either it's feasible with your system or not. Weigh the performance and the cost effectiveness of each candidate system. You will see the how the system employees who are, or the team members who have assigned the task to do the analysis are able to work on the proper system or not, and how well they are performing in the system. Rank the other alternatives and select the best candidate system. Prepare a system proposal of final project directive to management for approval. So this is something that you need to do after making a proper proposal for the system with all the requirements, with all the deficiencies that are the part of their existing system, and all the team members who are going to be the part of this new system development. You will give this proposal to the final management, the higher management, for approval. If they will approve it, then the rest of the task will be done by the development team. They will develop the system, and ultimately they will achieve the outcomes that they are expecting. So this is all from my side for today. We were expected to understand how to do the analysis of an existing system, and I hope we have achieved it. We have few questions. You can answer the one of your choice, and if you have any question from my side, you can ask me. Okay, for those your answer is correct. And if you have any question regarding the today's lecture, you can ask me, and I'm gonna try to answer the question. This is all from my side for today. I will see you guys in the next class. Till then, take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.